Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be looking at what Callum had to say about the Jay Slater case, because he believes that someone could have been involved with covering up what really happened. Also, Down the Rapids finds blood, but was this information ever followed up? And why didn't Lucy get a taxi up to the mountains? So the first thing we are going to look at in today's video is a clip of Down the Rapids finding blood in Masca.
So I've just found some dry blood here, guys. I found some dry blood. It's 100% blood. None of the other rocks have it. It's from nothing else. But you can see it here. You can see it here. Now there are sheep and stuff that come up here. You can see animal droppings as well. So it's probably from an animal. However, there are stories that Jay potentially cut his leg on a cactus. Now, Jay could have potentially come this way. I personally doubt it. I don't know. We don't know. So I'm still going to have a look. I'm going to have a look at the area, because that's definitely blood. That's 100% blood. Probably from an animal, guys. But we're searching everything. We're not leaving any stone or rock unturned, without a doubt. So I'm going to head down here. And just have a quick look around this area. I want to have a look over here as well. These are where some of the bigger drops are. Don't know if you guys can really see it. The problem is the camera doesn't show you how big the drops are, guys, and the levels of exposure around here. But I'm just going to have a little investigate. I'm trying to track as well, so I have been looking at tracks. I have been following footsteps, guys. Well, not footsteps. There's been certain parts in the dirt, like here where it looks like there's footsteps, but that could have potentially come from an animal, maybe a hiker. It's not clear footsteps, guys. It's just imprints. So it's quite hard to tell. The problem is it's very windy up here as well, which does make it more difficult to track.
So in this video, you can see that Down the Rapids found blood on a rock, and he keeps saying that it's probably from an animal, which could be right, but there is still a chance that it could have been from something else. If this was investigated, then surely it could have possibly ended up being evidence, but no one seemed to follow this up, and we know that because we never heard about any blood being found. We know that Jay was apparently cut by a cactus, even though this information came from Lucy, and she hasn't been very truthful throughout this case, but it could have helped find Jay sooner, and if we look back at when this blood was found, Jay wasn't found yet either, so at that point in the search for Jay, it could have led to something. Plus, after knowing that Jay was cut by a cactus and then blood is found on a rock, you would think that police would have been all over this and at least show some attention to this situation. But nothing happened, and that's not to mention that for everybody that doesn't believe the official narrative, this could have been evidence that Jay didn't choose to make this journey on his own. Anything could have happened to him, and this could have been anyone's blood. It could have even been blood that belonged to someone who was involved in what happened to Jay. But then again, it goes back to the Spanish police treating this as a missing persons case, and they didn't believe foul play was involved. The next thing we are going to look at is very interesting, because Callum, who was actively searching for Jay Slater at the very start, when he first went missing, talks about something being covered up. He also talks about Rahcel as well. Remember, this is from someone who was in Tenerife searching for Jay, and they would have known a lot of information and what was actually going on.
Do you believe that there are parties involved that have covered things up?
Yeah.
Ended up there because you know as well as I know, somebody doesn't just miraculously appear in the middle of a ditch, especially where he was, to the point where they were having to airlift people in and out. Somebody doesn't just fall. Someone could ask him if you thought Rahcel was mainly in charge. Yes.
So there is a couple of things that Callum said in this clip that are very interesting. The first thing that stood out to me is that he said that he believes that there are parties involved that have covered things up. This is coming from someone who was actually in Tenerife while Jay was being searched for, and if he believes that things were being covered up, then something very suspicious must have been going on to make him think that way. So what was being covered up? Because we had a lot of information about this case being put out daily. We had the stolen watch theory that was going around because of a picture Jay had allegedly sent saying that he stole an AP watch. We had the message that was sent to Debbie, which happened because Lucy put her number on the missing poster. Then we had the mystery of who was really at the Airbnb. Was Brad or Brandon there, or were they both there? Who is Johnny Vegas? Because that was never confirmed. And I could keep going. So many things could have been covered up, and that's not to mention all the lies that were told throughout this case. Now we have Callum, who was in Tenerife searching for Jay, saying that he thinks people were covering things up. This just proves that this case is a mess, and we need to find out the truth. Another thing Callum says is that no one just ends up in the middle of a ravine where people have to be airlifted to get to Jay's location. This is true. How did Jay get so far? And why did he keep going after knowing that he was in danger? And then, the final thing Callum says is that Rahcel was mainly in charge of everything to do with Jay. We all know that Rahcel was dealing with the people who came to search for Jay, and any information that was posted in the Jay Slater Facebook group had to be approved by Rahcel before it was posted. So what's stopping her from covering things up? And why did Rahcel want to be in charge of everything so desperately? Remember, this is Brad's mom, so her son wasn't the one who was missing. It was Debbie and Warren's son who was missing. I know Debbie was going through a rough time, and so was Warren, but Rahcel made sure she was the one in charge. How come we didn't see Lucy's mom getting involved? And it's the same with Brandon. It's not like Rahcel and Debbie were best friends, because I haven't seen them together since Jay's funeral. So why did Rahcel take over the whole situation? Because that gave her control over everything, which meant Brad was protected, and I believe Brad knows a lot more than he says, but because Rahcel was in charge, Brad didn't have any pressure on him and didn't have to say a word. I wonder how much Rahcel gets mentioned in the documentary that is being released by Jay's family. The last thing we are going to look at in today's video is a message from Lucy, where she asks how she can get to Masca without a car. Someone replies to her saying that if she really wanted to go and find him, she can get a taxi, but it would be very costly. So my question is, why didn't Lucy just get a taxi straight up to the mountains to find Jay? Surely the reason why she didn't do this can't be because of the money. The reason I say this is because we have seen how many holidays Lucy goes on, and how does she go on these holidays? That's right, she pays for them, and she went on so many holidays within the last couple of years that she could have paid for a mortgage to get a house. So you can't tell me that she can't afford to get a taxi in such a serious situation to help find her best friend, as she claims. So I can't understand why she waited until someone offered her a lift, with this person being Lena Patel, who hasn't spoke about taking Lucy to the mountains and won't answer anyone's questions to confirm anything. It's even been suggested that this Lena Patel person could have been Lucy's mom, but she was just using a fake account to make it look like someone drove her to the mountains. So when Lucy asks if she can go to Masca without using a car, she gets a simple answer, which said that she can get a taxi, but she didn't do it. And that's another reason why I think there is something suspicious about Lucy. And in my opinion, I think she knows what happened to Jay, but kept her mouth shut. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will update you as we find out more.